Welcome to Mutual of Omaha's Wild Kingdom. I'm Peter Gross, co-host of the original Wild Kingdom with Marlin, Perkins, and Jim Fowler. The coexistence between humans and animals was an important topic on many episodes of Wild Kingdom, including the one you'll see tonight. Many organizations and cultures throughout the world remain committed to identifying ways to preserve and even enhance their natural environment. The Amazon rainforest is a terrific example of that collaboration in action. Native cultures who used to poach animals and slash and burn the forest now benefit from its beauty. The revenue generated through tourism has created sustainable jobs for many people who call the rainforest their home. Their future is very bright in the Wild Kingdom. So sit back and relax and enjoy Mutual of Omaha's Wild Kingdom.
Mutual of Omaha's Wild Kingdom is presented by Mutual of Omaha.
Hold it. You're not going to frighten very many evil spirits.
No, but I bet he'd scare away another chimpanzee.
By golly, he might at that. Welcome to Mutual of Omaha's Wild Kingdom. WK has been dancing to an actual witch doctor's chant that I recorded in one of the most remote corners of the globe. Over the years, we have traveled to many places in search of the most exciting stories in the Wild Kingdom. Many of these adventures have carried us into some pretty inaccessible regions of the world, but few have been as inaccessible as the lost world of Angel Falls. The falls themselves, by far the world's highest, are so cut off from all civilization that they weren't even discovered until 1935 by Jimmy Angel, a bush pilot and explorer. It takes an expert pilot to fly into this country, and Stan Brock has flown many hours over this kind of rugged terrain.
It isn't flying there that's difficult. It's setting down after you've arrived. The country is wild and rugged, and there aren't many places you can safely land a plane. But the trip is well worth the hazards. The area is full of wildlife, and many fascinating tribes of primitive Indians make their home there.
We journeyed to this untouched and unspoiled land with Dr. Pedro Trabao, director of the Caracas Zoo. Flying south from the Venezuelan coast, we headed straight for the falls. Flat-top mesas mark the way as we fly into this wild land. Just ahead of us, a jutting plateau. Its sheer cliff perpetually echoes the thunder of Angel Falls. A 3,000-foot drop, 1,000 feet more than any other falls. Yet few have ever seen this magnificent cascade. We're in such a remote region that it's often called the Lost World. Stan sets course for the Caroni River, meandering through the canopy of trees on the jungle highland below the falls. We're heading for a small clearing near the river. A quick pass to check it out. All clear. There's barely enough room to land, and a stiff crosswind is blowing. It'll be a tricky approach. Stan banks into the crosswind, and we come in with one wing almost touching. A perfect landing. There's not much room to spare as Stan hits the brakes near the tall grass. Dr. Trabao keeps a boat near here, and while Stan makes it ready, we'll move through the jungle to the local Indian tribe that Dr. Trabao knows from his previous visits.
The jungle looks green from the air, but it's full of color and noise. Two macaws are right on my path as I head for the river. They blaze with color, and if their brilliant plumage didn't make these large birds conspicuous, they're noisy squabbling would. The scarlet macaw decides there may be another perch in the jungle after all. On a higher branch, a cock of the rock watches a red uakari monkey scamper through the trees. A timid vegetarian, he rarely descends to the ground. Like the cock of the rock, the red uakari wears brilliant color, vivid against the green tree canopy. But the green leaves help camouflage the emerald tree boa. Jungle birds must watch for him as he slides silently through the branches, barely visible against the leaves. He feeds on birds, plunging exceptionally long teeth through their feathers and throwing his crushing coils around them.
We're nearing the village. I've never seen such a concentration of colorful wildlife. What a wonderful land this is. A hummingbird siphons nectar from a blossom, darting and hovering like a honey bee. Along our path, wild orchids bloom. This lush, unspoiled land is filled with an immense variety of wild animals. There's a tyra, an expert hunter and tree climber, a combination that catches quite a few birds. But I can't figure out what he's up to now. He just seems to be interested in testing the strength of his jaws. The tyra is a skillful hunter, but he often chooses a diet of fruit and honey. We'll head for the river where Dr. Trabao will lead the way along the bank to the village. And there's a sure sign we're nearing water, otters. The otters here are huge, the largest of all river otters, sometimes approaching 7 feet in length. They're playful, fun-loving animals, but they're deadly hunters too. He's got it. Now for a quick meal on the bank. He cleans the fish carefully as he eats it. We're not far from the village now, and just ahead, Waika Indians harvesting fruit. They're primitive, simple people, living on what the jungle provides. We've come to the river, and along its bank an Indian boy scatters sulfur butterflies. There are thousands of them clustered on the shore. Here's another Waika youngster, and it looks like he's got a pet. On his vine leash, he holds a huge tarantula, the largest spider in the world. Look at the size of him. Dr. Trabao says the Indians consider roasted tarantulas a delicacy. Looks like these three have been for a swim. The primitive Indians may seem strange, but somehow kids are the same the world over. The boys always like candy, and the girls make themselves pretty. For her, that means a straw through the nose. They're beautiful children. Dr. Trabao learns that a festival is about to start in the village. We've come at an ideal time. The children were a sure sign that we were nearing the Indian village, and it wasn't long before we sighted some more Indians at the top of a hill. These Indians remember Dr. Trabao from his last visit. The young man is dressed in his finest feathers and paint, ready for the festival. This tribe has had little contact with our civilization. That's tobacco, rolled like a cigar, but chewed, not smoked. We decline his generous offer. The trail to the village takes us through the jungle once more, and even this close to the village, it abounds with wildlife. Yagaronde, a pair of youngsters, relaxing in the sunlight as only cats can. One cat spots something, an iguana. That long tail seems to intrigue him. The youngsters seem only curious. Hey, that tail fights back. Actually, the iguana is fierce only in appearance. Apart from the lashing tail, it has little defense. This is probably the friendliest predator the iguanas ever faced. The contest is all at this end. That whipping tail stings, and the iguana's passive indifference bores its youthful attackers. They chase their curiosity elsewhere. We're nearing the village now. The jungle provides an inexhaustible bounty of food, and just ahead, an Indian climbs for palm fruit. Getting to it isn't easy. He avoids the sharp, piercing spines by using an ingenious sliding framework. He's made it to the fruit. Now to get it down without damage. The Wika men find all the food the village needs right in the jungle. Up above, a capuchin monkey watches cautiously. Smoked monkey meat is a favorite of the Indians. A woman carrying a supply of dried cassava pancakes leads us to the village. Dr. Trabao greets an old friend with the traditional back patting. This fellow's welcome is more reserved. Dr. Trabao learns that his friend has become head man of this village, and to celebrate, he's invited a neighboring village to a festival. Families are close-knit groups, and the children are all well cared for. The village witch doctors are busy pulling out pain spirits from the sick Indians, sailing them away in an imaginary canoe, but one full of magic spells and formalized rituals. We're about to witness a strange Wika ceremony. The men are grinding the bone ashes of the cremated dead. While the bone ash is pulverized, a thick soup is made by boiling plantain, a banana-like fruit. When the cremated bones are finally ground, they're taken to the soup. The Wikas are endo-cannibals. They consume the remains of their dead. The soup is ready, and now the Indians gather for the ritual meal. The bone ash is added. Now the mixture will be eaten. The dead will rejoin the living. Here's a common sight, especially before a festival. The blowpipe is loaded with something the Wikas call a bene. It's a powerful hallucinatory drug. Dr. Trabao says the drug is strong, and one charge blown up the nostrils intoxicates them for hours. The festival is ready to begin. It follows a strictly prescribed form. The Indians from the neighboring village arrive wearing their most impressive decorations. And now a circle forms for a favorite test of strength, chest pounding. The young warrior demonstrates that the blow means nothing to him, but they are brutal, delivered with full force. Sometimes serious injury can result. The violent chest pounding gives way to dancing. To the Waikas, free from any knowledge of the world beyond, this is civilization. In their language, all other people are wild. We left the Indian village behind as we headed back to rendezvous with Stan near the river.
The trees along the river are full of life. Just ahead, a white-throated toucan. That enormous bill is really quite light. He acts a little nervous. There's the reason, a kinkajou, aroused from his daytime slumber by the toucan's noisy chatter. There must be a quieter spot. The toucan won't budge. Now to find a branch where it's peaceful and quiet. A swimming capybara seems to have found the perfect spot. It looks ideal. An overhanging tree leading away from the jungle's noise. At last, the perfect spot for a nap, with only a quiet capybara for company. But now the kinkajou spotted me, just as the capybara decides to roll in the water under the tree trunk. The timid kinkajou waits his chance. The jungle may be a noisy place, but at least it's safe.
Every turn of the trail seems to bring a new animal. A tamandua. The little anteater is looking for insects, and the young jaguarundis are still exploring the area. They'd do well to leave this fellow alone. Tamanduas are strong little animals, capable of tearing open concrete-hard termite nests. Those long claws are needle-sharp and the forearms immensely powerful. If he connects, he could mortally wound the young cat. They're leaving, and luckily the tamandua did them no damage. These youngsters don't have the hunting experience yet to know which animals to avoid. Their favorite prey seems to be each other. Now they found someone else to stalk. A boa constrictor, beautiful and deadly. The snake's not poisonous, but if a boa gets its teeth into a cat, it will quickly grip it in suffocating coils. The young cats are quick, too quick for the boa. The cat's great agility and instant reactions keep them just clear of the snake's sharp teeth. The boa will tire long before they do. Now it's being surrounded. These young cats are absolutely fearless, depending on their fantastic reflexes to keep them from harm. The jaguarundi's persistence is beginning to take its toll of the boa. They've tired it out, and the snake retreats. It's time to join Stan down by the boat, but I'm reluctant to leave this lush jungle with its amazing variety of animals, many of them stunning in their beauty. Stan has the boat ready, and we join him for a look at one last part of the lost world of Angel Falls. We're heading upriver toward Angel Falls, but we won't get that far because a barrier blocks the route. The river, like the jungle, is a haven for all kinds of wildlife. Wood ibises, graceful in their soaring flight. And now their call is drowned in the roar of Canaima Falls. This tumbling cascade marks the end of our trip upriver. We can go no farther toward Angel Falls, still remote and inaccessible, still thundering through the canyon beyond in private majesty. And so our journey ends here at Canaima Falls, an unforgettable trip back to a simple, primitive, wild world. A world that, to me, possesses more grandeur and beauty than the one we left behind. The lost world of Angel Falls. Come over here, WK.
I think he wants to do that Indian dance again.
I don't blame him. He's pretty good at it. After reaching Canaima Falls, we returned to the Guayca village and boarded our plane, flying out of the lost world of Angel Falls, a world where life goes on as it probably has for centuries. It's a land civilization has never erased, a living echo of the past, isolated by an impenetrable jungle. There are few such wild places left, and rugged and forbidding as these areas may seem, they can quickly fall before the onrush of civilization. But our world would be incomplete without wild places. We must build our world so there will always be room for the wild kingdom.
Mutual of Omaha's Wild Kingdom.
Like what you saw? Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube for more exclusive content. And visit our website at wildkingdom.com.